tell me about what you're trying to do with Kellogg's, and when you heard about the story in Texas, what went through your mind?
Oh, well, this is just incredible. We have such momentum here. Now, Texas joins 10 other states looking at banning artificial food dyes. This is something that I've been the forefront of a fight for over 10 years. Food companies here in America have been using artificial dyes in their products, but they voluntarily removed them in countries like in Europe when back in 2007, they found that these dyes affect children negatively. They cause hyperactivity, and they required cigarette-type warning labels on their products. And to avoid those warning labels, American food companies decided to reformulate their products without these artificial dyes for Europe and a lot of other countries, for that matter. And so they were, yeah, go ahead.
No, so there is a boycott of Kellogg's, or at least a scene in Kellogg's in Michigan just a couple weeks or so ago. And here's what Kellogg said, because I want to get their statement in. They say, today, more than 85% of the cereal we sell contains no colors from artificial sources. In fact, we continuously innovate new cereals that do not contain colors from artificial sources across our biggest brands, offering a broad choice of nourishing foods for our customers. What would you say to that?
Well, there are 92 million boxes of Fruit Loops sold every year in this country. 18% of American children have had at least one bowl of Fruit Loops this week because it's served in schools. This is something that's got to change. Our American companies cannot use ingredients that are banned and heavily regulated in other countries in the same exact products that they sell overseas. They're using better, safer ingredients in Canada, in all of Europe, in Australia, in India. It's extremely un-American to continue to do this. This is something that's unethical and hypocritical and needs to stop immediately. And that's why people stormed the headquarters in Battle Creek, Michigan last week, and we delivered over 400,000 signatures on a petition demanding that they make this change, and they continue to ignore us. So
you are you were elated when Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was announced the Health and Human Services post. You posted it, for example, on your feeds, a picture of you next to RFK Jr. There's obviously lots of questions on both sides of the aisle, even here, about what he may or may not do over at HHS. Democrats are concerned. For example, here was Congressman Jake Auchincloss on the show yesterday. I'll get your reaction on the other side.
RFK is a quack and a conspiracist, and he has no place near the levers of Health and Human Services. What he obscures is the fact that he substitutes science in place of his own opinions and his own quack theories.
Vani, how would you respond to that and to the concerns around RFK Jr.?
Yeah, I'm sure it was not just his opinion when he won a $2.2 billion case against Monsanto and Roundup, weed killer strongly linked to cancer for the plaintiffs that he was working for. Or I'm sure it was just anti-science, the fact that he believes that we should stop giving subsidies to big ag and GMO factory farms, and we should subsidize regenerative farming, which would dramatically reduce the pesticides being used on our food that's decimating our American health at enormous rates that we have never seen before. Half of the FDA budget is funded by industry. This is the type of corruption that he is going to remove when he is in Washington doing this work.
The HHS is a big portfolio. For example, substance abuse, mental health, they oversee. Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Are you comfortable with him overseeing the entirety of HHS, or do you believe his role should have been more tailored, maybe in a czar-like role?
There are so many people that he is surrounding himself, so the experts in all of these specific areas. It is absolutely incredible to watch. He was at the Senate roundtable that I was at, where we were surrounded by doctors from Johns Hopkins, Harvard, Stanford, and he is taking these people under his wing, and they're going to help fix the issues of chronic disease in this country. And he's going to look under the covers. He's going to figure out what's been decimating the American health at this point, where we're literally the bottom of the barrel in terms of health, although we spend the most on healthcare.
I got to leave it there. It's a pleasure to speak with you, Vani Hari, again, New York Times bestselling author. You simply might know her as the Food Babe, with a massive following on social media. Thanks so much for being with us here on The Hill. We'll catch you next time. Thank you. Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven,
unbiased coverage.